Chapter 6 is going to talk about human interaction with the environment for good and for not so good. We're going to use the example of Hawaii to start out. Settlers arrived in Hawaii apart from the natives who already lived there. They brought plants and animals that became invasive pests because they weren't part of the food web there. The settlers cleared forests to grow sugarcane, pineapples, and other crops that required lots of water. They converted land for housing and tourism. Waikiki Beach has built up areas that support tourism. The effects of this and on the ecosystems and on the Hawaiian natives shows what happens when a growing human population doesn't properly manage the Earth's resources. Humans have a huge effect on the environment when we obtain food, when we eliminate waste products, and we build places to live. We don't think of land, food, and water as being limited, but this is an interesting statistic. Human activity has used or altered roughly half of all the land that's not covered with ice and snow. So now we are at 7 billion people. People suggest that we might be approaching that carrying capacity, that we keep outfoxing because we do things to outfox the carrying capacity. But some people suggest that maybe we're here now. In agriculture, there's a practice called monoculture, which is clearing large areas of land to plant a single highly productive crop 1 year after the other. It's nice because it's very efficient. The crops can be harvested and tended to by using machines. But this agriculture impacts natural resources like water and soil. Fertilizer, farm machinery consume large amounts of fossil fuels. In development, modern society has people live in cities, and then as it becomes really crowded, people move to the suburbs. Dense human communities produce lots of wastes that can affect air, water, and soil if they're not taken care of properly. Development also takes up farmland and divides natural habitats into fragments. Florida has a huge fragmentation of forests. Industry can also change Earth. Our conveniences require a lot of energy to produce and to power. Most of this energy is obtained by burning fossil fuels. Here in Illinois, it's fueled by nuclear power, so that makes us feel a little bit better because it doesn't as much affect the environment unless there's a nuclear accident. Then we got big problems. Traditionally, industries get rid of their wastes by putting the waste products directly into the air, water, and soil. Smog is formed by chemical reactions among pollutants released into the air by industrial processes and auto exhaust. So we have to kind of switch our thinking. Goods, give you a couple definitions to start here, are things that can be bought and sold. They have value in terms of dollars and cents. Services are processes or actions that produce goods. So ecosystem goods and services are the ones that are produced by ecosystems that benefit the human economy. Healthy ecosystems provide goods and services naturally and largely free of charge, like air and water. If the environment can't provide these goods and services, then we have to spend money, which isn't advantageous to human society. Drinkable water can be provided naturally by streams, rivers, and lakes, and it can be filtered by wetlands. But if there's pollution, water quality can fall. then cities and towns have to pay for mechanical or chemical means to provide safe drinking water. Goods and services of the ecosystem are classified as renewable or non-renewable. A renewable resource can be produced or replaced by a healthy ecosystem. Wind is an example. Trees, because they can be replaced in a relatively short amount of time, are also considered to be renewable. Water is renewable. Some resources are non-renewable because natural processes can't replenish them, can't replace them within a reasonable amount of time. The main non-renewable resources we're concerned with are the fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, non-renewable, minerals, non-renewable, uranium for nuclear power, non-renewable. Fossil fuels specifically were formed from buried organic materials over millions of years. Sustainable development is using natural resources in a way that doesn't harm the environment. Some of the requirements of sustainable development should cause no long-term harm to the soil, water, and climate on which it depends. It should consume as little energy and material as possible. It has to be flexible to survive environmental stresses like droughts, floods, heat waves, or cold snaps. And it should also take into account economic systems as well as ecosystem goods and services.